Also come and take a picture with the minister.
Private financing is a critical element for the successful execution of oil and gas projects. Nevertheless, there is mounting pressure on the financial institutions to cease funding such ventures due to advocacy for energy transition. It is undeniable that oil and gas activities contribute to greenhouse emissions, a leading factor in climate change.
In 1928 and the 70s, the global oil spectrum was dominated by what we call the seven big sisters. The Essos, the BPs, the Shells, the Chevrons, and whatnot. But with the realization by governments that oil is too important to be left to the market, we have seen the growth of new seven big sisters, led by Saudi Aramco, Petronas, Petrobras, PDVSA, Iran Oil Company, and Sinop.
Experts in the energy sector within the region have discussed the optimal approach to address energy trilemma, which encompasses energy security, equity, and environmental sustainability. The objective is to establish a forward-looking perspective for the future of oil and gas while ensuring affordability and reliability for all.
At the national level, at the regional level, and also at the international level, there is enough support, because we cannot also ignore the risks associated with the energy transition. The energy sector, it's global. These are global projects. One country cannot develop their energy resources. You need the partnership from different foreign countries. You need financial institutions. So we need the support at the national level, regional level, and international level. So as we are progressing, let the countries that feel like, if you feel you still need oil and gas, you should have all the support, the financial support. And also, let's not forget about the legal risks associated with the energy transition, or even the legal risks associated with extracting fossil fuels that are impacting various oil companies, international oil companies. So at the national level, how are you going to mitigate these kind of risks?
If you stop these energy developments right here in this country, that would be a test case on how you move to stop energy development across the African continent. So if you here thinking that it's just a Uganda problem and a Tanzania problem, no. They're coming for you next, because this is now the new battleground for stopping energy development. I don't know what we did in Uganda. So
the Russia-Ukraine conflict that started in February 2021, and the outcome of that conflict was a sanction on Russian oil and gas supplies to the global market. And that took about 10 million barrels of crude oil per day out of the market. And so it's important for us to understand what was the outcome of a sudden removal of 10 million barrels of crude oil from the market. And in summary, the outcome was a reversal of energy transition. I think, as my dear colleague here, Dr. Nalole, has mentioned,
the recent monthly oil market report from Paris-based energy watchdog, global oil demand is projected to reach an average of 102.2 billion barrels per day, which is 2 million barrels per day higher than that in 2022. In 2022, Africa's oil demand averaged at 4.36 million barrels per day, as stated by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company. Given concerns about inadequate energy transition, it is evident that Uganda and its neighboring countries cannot avoid the exploration and utilization of their resources.
If you take the gas out of Tanzania and across Africa, if you produce all of that gas, produce your fossil fuels, your greenhouse gas emissions would increase by 0.67%. That's nothing. That's nothing. Those stats are from the IEA and the UN itself. Your greenhouse gas emissions would increase by 0.67%. So the question is, where is the fuss?
Uganda has granted a final tender to Total Energies to construct a 3.5 billion oil pipeline through Tanzania, creating a path towards the development of the pipeline, which will facilitate the transportation of the country's crude to international markets. The project has been celebrated by President Museveni as a significant economic driver for the impoverished landlocked country. we reached out to the Tanzania Ports Authority to discuss their preparedness to handle the shipment of the oil vessels from Tanga to the global market.
We are going to increase the number of farm tanks that are going to store oil so that when this is offloaded from the vessels, they can quickly be taken to the destinations. All this is to make sure that the business operations is as smooth as possible, because with the smoothness of this business, automatically we'll be able to lower down the cost. Because if we become inefficient as the port, the final consumer is the one who is going to be affected.
Africa's exploration and production sector has witnessed increased investor interest as stakeholders aim to unlock the vast potential of the continent's hydrocarbon resources, which include over 125 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves and 600 trillion cubic feet of natural gas.